is 0-0. Every fight we attack like it's my first fight and my last fight, and I carry myself like a champion, It's not a champion mindset, it's a champion responsibility, and that's what we do.
10 rounds with a guy. I mean, does that make preparation for this fight easier or more difficult?
I mean, I had 10 rounds with a guy. I mean, if you watch from the first to the second fight, two different fighters, and from the second to this fight is going to be different fighters again. But I feel good. I feel great. I feel on. I got to spend 15 minutes with this guy, 10 rounds with this guy. I've been saying it all week, man. You guys be blessed if we go above 3. I can't wait.
I mean, you've been in nothing but big fights for years now, right? But I mean, the circumstances around this one, the trilogy, kind of what's at stake. I mean, does this feel like a different moment for you, or a more important moment than maybe some of your other fights?
This legacy is a legacy fight, 100%. As you said, you guys all know what pound for pound ranking he is. You guys know what pound for pound ranking I am, and we're on the higher end of the pound for pound ranks, and these don't happen in the past decade, I mean, it did only once come to mind, and that's DC and Jones. So this is a legacy fight. This is huge in every way. To be honest, I really, like people calling us the main event of this card, and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot about this fight. So that's what it is.
Does this have to be a finish? I mean, given how close the other fights were and how the judges kind of broke your heart a little bit, I mean, do you feel like I gotta finish this fight?
We see what happens, at the end of the day, it is what it was. You don't cry over spilled milk, like you said. The first 2 fights, even the second fight, Dana White said what he said. About half of the UFC roster said what they said. So at the end of the day, I wasn't trying to add no fuel to the fire. You let it go, you move on, and we did what we did. We're here now.
Nice. Last thing for me, I know you got to focus on Saturday night and getting that win, but where does this rivalry go? I mean, do we go 4? Do we go 5? Like, what has to do to put an end to this?
We see what happens, First things first is getting the job done on Saturday. My name ain't Dana White, as you know. It ain't Sean Shelby, McMahon, Hunter Campbell. I don't meet with these guys on Tuesdays, so that's their job. I'm no matchmaker. I'm a fighter. Whatever they want to do, we want to do. There's a lot of history in a weight class above me that I have, and I got a history with the guy who I consider stood the champ there. I'm a short list for Connor, and there's a bunch of dream matchups that fans want to see at 55 for me. So we'll see what happens. But first thing first, Alex got my full attention, and I can't wait to go out there and show the world why I'm one of the best to ever do this and to ever be in this game.
Max, back here to your left. There's been a lot of talk about fire, like Khabib Nurmagomedov saying he thinks Volkanovski has more fire than you heading into that.
Yeah.
What do you think he means by that? Because you seem pretty fired up right now, and you've certainly shown a lot of fire in your last 2 performances.
I mean, what I think Khabib means, I think Alex should be happy. He got a fan watching his cooking shows. That's probably the fire he's talking about, So at the end of the day, I'm playing video games, so I guess you can't really see the fire. I mean, I scream when my guys and my teammates screw up or when I screw up, and that's pretty fire to me. But Khabib actually probably sees literally fire on the grill that Alex is using to cook. So that's probably where it got from.
Personally, I feel that your second fight with Alex is one of the most criminally underrated fights of all time. Just what you were able to learn from the first fight, what he was able to learn from the first fight, and vice versa. I know you like to separate yourself from the sport a little bit, but have you gone back recently and watched that second fight? And if so, what stands out to you about it?
Not recently, but I did watch it. I sat with my team and we watched it together, and we just broke down. It was 2 different guys, and you saw 2 guys in there grow from the first fight, and then you saw 2 guys in there grow during the fight. Which is pretty good. When you're at this level, at this high level, that's what you got to do to separate yourself from the pack.
Last thing for me, and this might be the most important question of all, where are we at with the floral shorts? Are we making any headway on that?
With the floor shorts, I checked in yesterday. I didn't have no floor shorts, but don't worry, guys. I got all you guys. ShopMaxHolloway.com. We have our own floor shorts that we dropped. I better see all you guys in them.
Max, just a couple here. Keep your hand nice and high. You're a very relaxed person, but going into that Calvin Kattar fight, you were literally yelling at not just him, but everyone cage side that you were the best boxer. it was a different kind of energy I felt than like the Brian Ortega fight where you put up his gloves and teach him how to box. How much emotion were you carrying into that fight from the second Volkanovski fight?
None, zero.
Okay.
I mean, all that emotion was from that fight. You're only as good as your last fight. A lot of people forgot about like you only get judged off your last fight. So it is what it is. Cater was new blood. He was older than me. He's calling me a freshman. You know what I mean? He said people was toting that he was the best boxer in UFC, and there's level to this game, and I wanted to show it, and I went out there and I did, and I believe with the Cater fight, I think so. We had some fans. We had some fans in attendance, so that fired me up a little bit, So you think I was screaming then, wait Saturday night. It would be this is the ninth island. A bunch of Hawaiians it's gonna be a Hawaiian pro crowd in there. It's gonna be insane. I would be surprised if people stay after my fight for that main event because it's gonna be so pro Hawaiian. It's gonna be ridiculous.
What's the biggest difference between the Holloway now versus the first or the second Volkanovski fight?
I'd whoop both of their asses. Like plain and simple. You get better. You need to get better in this game. If you stay the same, you do the same stuff, then you're not gonna grow in anything you do. Even what you guys do. So I'm way better. I feel better. I feel great. I look great. I just can't wait to go out there and do it.
Last thing, and I'll let you go here. Since you brought it up, I am also a screamer when I game. How would your wife describe you when you're playing video games?
Oh, she a nutcase probably. She she hears me. She hears me to the walls. I'm pounding my feet. I'm on the second floor of the house, so like pounding my feet and screaming. So it's good fun. I'm a competitive man, and I just want to win. So when I don't win or something or I do a stupid play, I'm like screaming at myself. Thank you, brother.
Max,
Hey,
over
Max.
here to your left. Right here.
Right there.
A lot of fans are saying that whoever wins this fight will determine who the greatest featherweight of all time is. Do you also see it that way?
Not at all. Not at all. A lot of fans, a lot of people is saying it, and do we forget the man Jose Aldo? The man got 8 title fights. I got 8 title wins actually. I have 5 title wins, and until somebody can beat his records as a champion, with the 8 title wins, then they can consider themselves the GOAT in featherweight. So I got 5 to be here against Alex to get my 6th title win. That's just a cherry on top, man. With fans and everything, it's gonna be amazing.
And Josh Emmett says that he deserves the next title shot. He says that he's the number 1 contender. He'll be their cage side. Do you also see him as a number 1 contender to fight the winner of this one?
Like I said, man, I ain't a matchmaker. I do what he do. He can say whatever he want to say, believe what he want to say. I mean, at the end of the day, Dana White, UFC, that's all their job to worry about. And all I got to worry about is one guy, Saturday night. That's Alex, and that's my full focus.
Max over
Max
here.
right here.
I'll go
Right here,
ahead.
Max.
To the back.
Yeah, just one. You're also being honored this week with the Hall of Fame, with the Forrest Griffin Award. I mean,
sir.
obviously, every fighter, I think, wants to get in there for their fights and for their work inside the cage. But what does it mean to you to get this particular award? And also, will you be at the ceremony on Thursday?
That award means a lot. It means a lot to me. Being able to give back to people, to show. That's what this life is about. You know what I mean? Like, especially during the pandemic, it was insane, and seeing people go through tough times, meeting the kids at St. Jude's, giving back to the Hawaii Food Bank, all these things, all my partnerships with everyone. That's what life is about, if you can give back and inspire people, and I'm in a position to be able to give back and inspire, so why not do it, because you never know who you can touch in that day. And I won't be there this Thursday. I'll be doing some other things, You guys can see me a little bit lighter on Friday morning, so I won't be there. But tune in for it. It's gonna be a great show.
Thank you.
Max over here. In that Brian Ortega fight that Volkanovski had, he had that really tight submission hold late in the fight. Did you think Volkanovski was done at that point? Were you surprised to see him get out of it?
I mean, I didn't watch it live. I saw the highlights. I saw the tape, and looked pretty deep, looked pretty tight, and I mean, that's just a champion mentality, champion mentality, and kudos to him, So it looked pretty cool.
And speaking of Ortega, he's fighting in a few weeks against Yair Rodriguez. You fought both fighters. Who do you favor in that fight? How do you think that fight plays out?
I will see what happens. Yair's a dog, man. A lot of people sleep on Yair. Yeah, he's really good. He's really good at mixing up and figuring things out. So, I mean, you look at my last fight with him. Was one of the a great fight actually, and not only our division and all of the UFC, I think. So, I think he's an amazing fighter. I think Brian is amazing. I think it'd be an action-packed fight, and made a better man win.
And someone you almost fought, Khabib Nurmagomedov, is going into the Hall of Fame. Where do you rank him on the greatest of all time list from your perspective? Because obviously he never lost, but maybe didn't have the title defenses as some of the other names.
I mean, I don't know. That's not my job to rank. And congrats to Khabib, being in the Hall of Fame. And I don't know the rankings. Like I have favorite fighters, and GSP and Anderson Silva is like 1 and 2, so they're like right there. So after that, I couldn't tell you.
Thanks.
Max, right here. Just curious off the back of your comments about Aldo still being the GOAT. I guess maybe the contrarian could say he came into the UFC and was the title holder right away. You had to put together a 10-fight winning streak just to get an interim title fight, and you beat a lot of the guys he defended his title against. So do you not think that does more for your resume, even though the wins are there, but maybe not the title defenses?
I mean, it's cool. I got the wins, but the title defenses is the title defenses. That is the actual record. You know what I mean? He got 8 title wins. I got 5. Like I said, we're not that far behind him. So hopefully I can catch him. We see what happens, but he's the GOAT, bro. You can't take it away. Just because he got gifted it because he came from another event that UFC bought out, and he was a champ in it. It wasn't like a gift. Like, he's like, bro, you're a champion. I'm pretty sure if they told him, hey, you got to fight for the belt, he'd be like, I'll fight for the belt. That's just the kind of guy Aldo is. He's a stand-up guy, hard worker, hard fighter, and the GOAT.
And just your thoughts on receiving that USADA jacket and kind of what the importance of representing yourself as a clean athlete means.
I mean, it means a lot. It means a lot. It means a lot getting the 50. I want to get the 100 times. And it just means a lot. Being clean in the sport is tough, especially in this one, especially in this sport with how much mental and physical training you need to go through. So it's just amazing to do it, and I'm glad I'm doing my part in the sport, clean sport, better sport, and having fun.